Well, here I am in my van, thinking about technology and the fact that I probably wouldn't even be online if it wasn't for Gary in Mendham. Uh, well, that's the most important thing, what he has to say about life and about being here on the planet and what humans should do. Meanwhile, I'm a failed ethicist. I don't know how to use the technology that much. And by the way, I should say anybody watching a YouTube should use those triple dots and set the playback speed to a faster speed. You're going to have to Google that because I'm not going to get into a lot of detail right now on how to do that. Most people know. Oh gosh. So, why am I making this video now? Well, because I have this friend that asked me to talk to her about the details of my life. And then I realized she probably didn't want me to go in so much detail. So there's my life, and then there's life, my view of life. My view of life can be best described by any of Gary and Mendham's stories, videos about the life story. And as far as my life goes, well, someone else could probably describe it. There's the known self, the unknown self, the hidden self, and the blind self. So there'll be parts about my life that I'm blind to, and parts about my life that I've hidden from others. And then there's the parts that I know and everyone else knows, and then there's the parts that I know and or that no one knows, that I don't know and no one knows. But I think that life is cause and effect, and there's determinism, and I don't blame humans or animals or flies or alligators. They are the way they are. Humans do have language and culture, so they can see the whole chessboard, and if they're informed, they get to see it. And also, I don't know, my life, I could shift back and forth between my life and the life outside of me that I see, that is. Well, my life, I'm losing my train of thought, and I thought, well, maybe it's best to just keep this video short. I kind of get in a hurry because I'm used to, I see this clock counter, and it seems like it's almost microseconds or something. Just going so fast. Yeah, it is microseconds or something. Tenths of a second. I'll have to get used to all this. And I don't look at the camera, and that's okay too. It's May 3rd, 2020, and I'm making this video, and I'm making it for a friend, and I'll probably take it down. So, I'm not saying her name, just in case. I don't want her to get in trouble in any way by knowing me. So what have I really said? I've talked a little about the life story, and I've said where you can get more information about that. And the philosophy is life spelled backwards, Ethel, and then ISM on the end, Ethylism. And I'd like to say it's not antinatalism. That's the simple answer, because antinatalism could be focused on different things. It could say, oh, we don't want to produce more humans, or we don't want to produce more humans or animals because the world's getting overpopulated. No, it's not because of that. It's because life is broken, period. And that's what Ethylism is really focused on. So, I'm going to stick with that and say that I'm on board with Ethylism only. And sure, antinatalists are out there talking about Ethylism, and that's nice. But I don't need to cloud it. I'm just keeping it with the one word. Aside from Ethylism and the story of life, evolution, and cause and effect, and determinism, then there's my life. I don't see how my life's that important in the big scheme. This person in Lebanon happens to know me, and after whatever 18 years or more, maybe 20 years, she's in touch with me. We have had contact by Facebook, just very little, since 2007. And well, I'm just thinking, and I should get my life down better for a video. I've been going for 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and I feel like I'm in a hurry. But I think a person should be able to get their life out. I know there's a book, Ever Deeper Honesty. I don't agree with everything in the book. For example, it might talk about circumcision. But one thing I do agree with is people should have a right to an instant, painless, effortless, guaranteed, painless, guaranteed permanent exit. And they don't. And if they don't have that, then they're a slave to existence. And I understand in North Korea, if you even talk about suicide, you can get in trouble. If you commit suicide, they come after your family when you're dead. So I'm saying, I don't know why I mentioned that. I'm just saying, in some ways, it's better to be here in this country, and even other countries even do better than this country. They give you assisted suicide, but still there's a lot of paperwork. And I understand it could cost you $10,000 to go to Sweden or wherever it is that has the right to die. Maybe Switzerland, can't remember. And that's not right. It should just be available. So I got on the topic of Ever Deeper Honesty because that's a book that's like 45 hours to listen to. I think it's 5 parts, and they're 9 hours each. And I listened to them, of course, fast speed play on the YouTube, and I time marked them. And why I'm on the topic is he took that whole book, and he or she, whoever wrote it, the author remained anonymous, and said, I don't know, in about the first 2 pages, that you could get by without reading the rest of the book if you just read the first 2 pages. And that's what I'm saying, is I should be able to tell you in 5 minutes the main important things about my life and about life in 5 minutes, rather than taking a bunch of time. Instead, I come up with this idea of thinking, well, I should tell the person all the books I've read and all the people I've talked to and the backgrounds of the different people I've talked to, the life I've lived gathering information, and say that I'm a slow learner, in my opinion. I probably have average intelligence by an IQ test. Let's see. I probably have a high average knowledge base. I say that based on some kind of test I took. Well, if I do, it's because I've been spending a lot of time gathering information. So what information have I gathered? Is it even important? What's important is life and reducing suffering and minimizing your impact on suffering, and be cleaning up messes of suffering. Suffering is a mess, and if you're cleaning up messes, then you're doing the right thing. If you're reducing suffering. But it's such a wasteful process. It's a drag, and it's inefficient. I really don't want to be here. I haven't wanted to be here since, and that's another important point, I haven't wanted to be here. But is it really? It's just about me, you know. I have not wanted to be alive since June 2002. I got this old foot condition, and it's plantar fasciitis. Anyway, you can't see it from the outside. then I got this back problem where I can't sit. And I'm just very inefficient. Not to mention diminished quality of life. So when you do the math, and I like that chapter, it's from another book called Two Arms and a Head by Clayton or Clay Atreus. Okay. Don't confuse him with Clayton Tucker Ladd, who wrote Psychological Self-Help online. And it's interesting because he's got a chapter that covers a part of the chapter. Chapter 14 mentions determinism, and it has a section on that. Otherwise, Clay Atreus wrote Two Arms and a Head, and he was accepted to a top law school, took a break from college before law school, and a motorcycle ride down to Mexico, and while down there, a donkey jumped out from the side of the road, and he ran into it by accident, and had an accident, and ended up paralyzed. So the book has a chapter on math, and it talks about how long it takes him just to get his morning routine done, how much of a hassle it is just for him to have a bowel movement and use the toilet. Anyway, yeah, I have not been really wanting to live since 2002. June 2002. So, I was, I don't know, I think 36 when it happened. Oh, no, I can't remember. June 2002, what year? 2001? I guess. So anyway, right after that I turned whatever age I turned. No, I wasn't 36. I was going to turn 37, September 2002. So it was my goal just to make it to 2 more years, June 2004, which would have put me close to 40. And I wasn't going to complain, because 40 was as long as I ever wanted to live anyway. So here I am, 55, and making this video. Finally motivated to reach out and make a video and see how to do it, because I've only made 2 videos really before this, and I never posted them. They were just tests, One was of a dog in the backyard in the sunshine, and another one was just purely a test video, videoing a curtain, and to see how to work YouTube. So this is a beginning video for YouTube, and I don't need to make any more, because for me, I'm an information gatherer, and I'm not a teacher, and I'm not a thinker, but I've been gathering information, reading, and thinking for myself, and looking into critical thinking. And I'm losing my train of thought, because there's a lot of important things. So if I were to look at my life, I would say, what do you have to benefit from my life? You could say, how do I live? What are tips for how I live? One is I keep records. I've kept a journal, time plan, calendar, and I kept files. I could go back 10 years ago and tell you what I was doing on this day, this hour, 10 years ago. Okay. Can I do that completely? This is under the topic of life logging, and Alexander Graham Bell's son, or junior. Anyway, he's done life logging more extensively. Is it worthwhile? I think it is, absolutely. The more you can look at yourself, you can be aware of yourself, and use technology to do that. The voice recorder is one thing I use. I've recorded phone call conversations, and I review those conversations. The position I'm in because I can't sit without pain in my back. So that's been about since 2010 roughly. I mean, I've had problems sitting for a while. But if I were to sit for a long period, 2 minutes, my back can go out. I have to be in the right position. So if I'm driving, the seat can shake, and I have to loosen the seat belt to reposition myself in the seat, because bouncing around, I don't mean the sheet, the whole van or vehicle can shake and shake me out of position. But so there's my life, and then there's the story of life. And I'm trying to say what's important about my life is something that could benefit you. That's all. If it can benefit you, then it's going to be important. If it can benefit you or someone you know. That's another thing. Nepotism. Family. Friends, for that matter. Friends of the family you choose. Why should a friend or family member be any more important than someone else with a brain and a spinal cord? Okay? They all have the capacity to feel pain. And I should care about them all. And I do. And even if I don't, it doesn't mean it's logical. So there's another thing. The difference between my psychology and my philosophy. I may get angry, but that's because I've been trained about being angry. All right? And you have to get training on how not to be angry. And do I blame myself? I don't like the word blame, but I could do better. So anyway, Sapolsky, a professor out of Stanford, Robert Sapolsky, Dr. Robert Sapolsky, he talks about it. If we can send someone to prison and tell them, look, for some reason, we don't know why, you've behaved the way you have, and we're not holding you responsible, but we're going to contain you. We have to contain you. We're not going to blame you, but we're going to contain you. So that's what I mean. It's just a couple of points here, and I've gone on for almost 20 minutes. We're at 17 minutes, and I think I'm going to finally sign off. And this is my serious thinking mode when I have not prepared anything, really. I woke up this morning wanting to put these thoughts down, and I guess I've started something here. So I'll leave it at that and say my normal all for now. Okay? That's what I normally say. That's it.